heirs of salvation. I have a friend in Twin Falls, Idaho, Brother Picklesheimer. He made a trip in November of 1988 to Tanzania, Africa. He left Twin Falls to go to Salt Lake City. In Salt Lake City, he caught a flight to Chicago, where he was to pick up a KLM airline to Amsterdam, and from Amsterdam he went into the interior of Africa, into Tanzania. From Salt Lake City, there was a flight canceled to Chicago. Eventually, he was able to get out to Chicago. At Chicago, when he got there was a representative that met him at the door of the plane and raced him to the KLM airline. He stepped on this KLM jet, and the door closed behind him, and the plane left for Amsterdam. Needless to say, when he arrived in Amsterdam, there was no luggage. Here he is in Amsterdam with no luggage. And the flight he is going to connect to into the interior of the continent of Africa flies only once per week. He has no clothes. He is unable. He feels he is totally unable to continue the trip and go on without his luggage. He calls his wife in Twin Falls, Idaho, and says to her, "Elaine, my luggage is not here. I cannot go into the interior and preach a whole week with no changes of clothes. I have nothing. I am unable to go." He said, "You've got to do something. You have got to pray." When he hung up, Sister Picklesheimer sat down on the side of her bed and began to cry out to God. And these are the words she said. She said, "Jesus, I've heard about these stories from missionaries. I've heard about these miracles you have performed on foreign soil. We need a miracle. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing my husband can do. You have got to do something." And then she said, "Send an angel of the Lord to pick up his luggage and fly it across the Atlantic and take it to Amsterdam, Holland." Unknown to her, Brother Picklesheimer in Amsterdam began to pray. And he said, "God, there's nothing I can do," in essence. He prayed this kind of a prayer. But then he said, "God, send an angel of the Lord to pick up my luggage and carry it to me and bring it to me here." After a while, he called again the luggage department. He gave them his identity. He said, "I know that you have looked before." He said, "But would you go one more time to the luggage compartment here in the airport? Would you go one more time and would you look for my luggage?" The voice said, "There is nothing there. The luggage room is empty. The door is locked. We have looked and looked for your luggage. It is not there." Brother Picklesheimer said, "Would you go just one more time? Would you go one more time?" The man said, "All right, I'll go." And he laid the phone down, and a couple of minutes or whatever passed. Suddenly, the voice came back on the other end of the phone, and the voice said, "I opened the door." He said, "We found your luggage. It was sitting in the middle of the room on the floor. Both pieces were in the middle of the room on the floor." Because angels are ministering spirits to the heirs of salvation. An angel of God had picked up that luggage and carried it to Amsterdam, New York, or Holland rather, where he was able to continue his mission for God and fly on into the interior of Africa and carry out the gospel with the glory of God reaching those wonderful people that are there. Does it happen in our day? Yes, it happens in our day. Is Jesus real? Yes, he is real. Are angels real? Yes, they are real. And they are ministering spirits to the heirs of salvation. We can call upon the name of Jesus and ask God to dispatch angels into our lives to minister to us strength, help, health, deliverance. God has arranged a mighty and glorious plan for us in our day. How wonderful is the whole counsel of God. How marvelous to preach the entire counsel of God. Not just a part of it, but all of it. and angels are a part of the operation of the gifts of the Spirit and the incredible plan of God in the earth as He works with His master plan, the church of the living God, of which you and I are a part.